HR Famous is brought to you by HRU Tech, a contingent staffing firm specializing in engineering, IT, and technically related placements across multiple industries. If you're looking for technical talent or searching for a career, look no further than HRU Tech. Find them online at hrutech.com and call them today. HR Famous is also brought to you by Kinetics, the leading RPO recruiting firm for growth companies, named by CHRO Today as the top midsize RPO provider. Kinetics uses its unique skill-based recruiter model to deliver on RPO engagements, allowing them to customize scope to meet your unique hiring needs. If you have recruiting challenges and want to consider RPO as a solution, give Kinetics a call. Find them online at kineticshr.com.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Sackett and we are back with another edition of HR Famous, and like we have been pretty consistent over the last 40 shows or so. I got my my two great friends with me, Chris Dunn and Jessica Lee. Hey guys, how's it going?
Fantastic.
I thought you were going to say fantastic.
I was going to say fantastic. Did you see that there's going to be a reboot of Sex and the City?
Did they eliminate somebody, JLee?
Yeah, Kim Cattrall's not coming back.
Hey,
Yeah.
JLee, who's
the slutty one? Was Kim Cattrall the slutty one?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's you have to replace her though with somebody, right? You have to have that role.
Hey, JLee, who's the boyfriend? Was that Mr. Big?
Mr. Big, yes.
So Mr. Big, the actor who played him, Angela and I. Okay.
Was that your college roommate?
No, we just saw him on a Ted Kaczynski series on Netflix, and he's playing the guy leading the task force against Kaczynski, and he looks literally about 95 years old. So I'm assuming he's not in a reboot.
Maybe he'll pass and they'll say, "Oh, poor Mr. Big," and then it's a new love life.
By the way, Tim, on an attendance front, I'm just looking for that fake crystal award that says that I've shown up 39 out of 40 times.
No, it has to be 40 out of 40, right? Or whatever. And I think we're at 46, 47. Gosh, what are we going to do for episode 50? We better start game planning for that. It's kind of like JLee's 100th ride on Peloton where you need to have balloons.
Yeah, how did the balloons go, JLee? Did the balloons work out? Did you act surprised?
Well, this is embarrassing. So he ordered balloons and he ended up saying to me "Hey, I got balloons. When's the ride?" And I was like, "When's the ride? It's today." And then he was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know, blah, blah, blah." But then I got it wrong. I didn't actually, I thought I hit my 100th ride, but it was my 100th workout. And then it took me a few days later to get to the 100th ride.
Jay, by the way, do you know, I kept I'm riding, doing my thing. I'm 50 rides in, whatever it might be. I'm loving it still. I love going out and having a great workout. But I'm these people are 1,000 rides, 2,000 rides. And I'm how the heck are these people getting these rides? So now, you know me, I need the recruiter in me has to do a little deep dive into Reddit Peloton world to find out what's going on. And so these people are gaming their ride number.
Yeah.
Where they're going and doing I'm going to do 40-minute or 45-minute ride. Instead, they'll do 4 10-minute rides and get 4 rides in a day. And I'm come on, man. That's not what this is about.
I agree. Or people do a 5-minute warm up, a 5-minute cool down. I don't do warm ups and cool downs. This is 30 to 60-minute rides.
Yeah, I'm here for the real thing. Come on, I'm not counting those little rides. I think that's crazy. Okay, let's get into it. A piece of we all of us get nonstop email from a lot of PR firms, a lot of study stuff about the world of work, HR, work tech, whatever it might be. And so I had one that came up. And basically it was the top 10 most important qualities in a candidate as chosen by recruiters and hiring managers. And so I wanted to get your take. This is by Zeti, 2021 study. So recent, just hot off the presses. And, we trying to figure this out. So I will go down and tell you guys, here's it from number 1 to number 10. And I'll give you the percentage of people that voted. So number 1, loyalty, 52%. Number 2, integrity, 49%. Number 3, Sincerity, 48%. Number 4, adaptability, 41%. 5, kindness, 41%. 6, patience, 39%. 7, persistence, 38%. 8, emotional intelligence, EI, 37%. 9, tolerance, 26%. 10, open-mindedness, 25%. I sent you guys this in a text stream, and all of us immediately were like, well, this is bullshit. So can you guys give me, what is your most important quality in a candidate?
Kicking ass, of course. Like I want to, I mean, basically 7 or 8 of the things you read, you cannot measure.
No. Well, not in a candidate, you cannot measure, right? Maybe in an employee, once you know them, know their performance.
Yeah, but it was from recruiters, right?
The
this is
doing it. Qualities in a candidate.
Hey, you know what? I really like loyalty. That's great. So you pass on the great candidate that's been somewhere 2 years. Awesome. You're awesome.
Hey, Katie, I have a question real quick. We're gonna role play here live on HR Famous.
Am I the candidate or the recruiter?
So, Mr. Christian Dunn, can you explain to me a time when you showed the most loyalty to a manager that you worked with? Like, I mean, again, like the person's going to come up with some stupid story. Chris, don't even answer that question because it's a lie, whatever you're saying. Like, it's crazy to me.
Am JLee, I addressing people as Mr., Mrs.? Like,
am I?
As a kid, no.
Wait, are we not role playing? Because I was ready to go.
I know. Yeah, I don't want to hear your answer, by the way.
Was it loyalty?
It's loyal. Yeah, yeah.
Well, there was a time, Mr. Sackett, when my manager, there was just some like really ugly things being said about him. And I refused to talk about him behind his back. And, I really helped him out. Okay. I got nothing. That's my attempt though.
Jessica, what was your most important quality?
You know what? Lately, one of the things I really like is like I'm impressed by people who are good listeners and can synthesize things. Like I'm valuing that more, and I look for it. Like I want to see people
explain what do you mean by
look for what?
People's ability to listen and like
what I did there?
Synthesize. Oh yeah. God, see.
That was awesome. Go JLee.
By the way, and the thing on this list also that I think is BS is sincerity. Like, what does that mean? Sincerity? What you just did was not sincere, by the way.
Actually, it was. It just wasn't polite.
But like, is that like is the opposite of sincerity? Like sarcasm, like what is it? I do think sarcasm can be fun sometimes. I just don't know when it's happening all the time. But what is sincerity?
Yeah, like I still go back to this list and go, I don't even like why. It's like they had to give people options, right? So some idiot came up with this list. Sorry for. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. If you want to go click on it, I won't call out the vendor who put it together. I probably already did. Anyways, mine back to you guys was like follow through and accountability. Like I want somebody that's gonna like, hey, this is the job or this is what needs to be done, and they can flat out kill it. Like, and they just follow through and get it done. Like to me, I think that's a great, like quality of a candidate. Again, in an interview process, are you really going to be able to dig that out, or is that something we measure afterwards? I don't know.
On this topic of getting things done, I heard about a person recently who, when she was interviewing, we were looking at her resume, she had on it #GSD, and people didn't know what that meant. But then as they started learning about it, it means #GetShitDone. And I love that. Like, I want to make that my own now. Like that should be my hashtag for every hashtag.
That should be your team hashtag on Slack there at the Marriott Corporation.
Isn't that good? #GSD on the resume. Like that is. That's badass.
That's a little hustle culture. I bet your buddy Gary V that you are connected with on LinkedIn, JLee, probably uses that hashtag.
When's he coming on the show, JLee? I know.
Well, he messaged me and said, thanks for mentioning him on the pod, but I'm working on the scheduling.
Gary V.
We're here again.
He still hasn't sent me an invite. And maybe it's just like a holiday hangover. I still haven't gotten it. KD.
Tim, I'm looking at the top 10. Adaptability, persistence,
emotional intelligence. Those are the 3 out of 10 that I think you could actually measure. I view this list. These are things like the other 7 are all things that we value. I don't want people to quote me, and say that, we don't value these things. We value all these things. But for somebody to put together, we become soft. We become like incredibly like soft. And
hey, wait a minute. Cue the music for Christian Dunn, life coach. Go.
So, actually, it's the opposite of Christian Dunn Life Coach, because Christian Dunn Life Coach, to get those billings as a life coach, I don't want to talk to you guys a lot about integrity, sincerity, kindness. You know what we need in 2021? We need more kindness. Let's talk about your plan for kindness. I'm Christian Dunn, Life Coach. Look me up at chrisdunn.com. Which actually exists. I need a different one for the life coach thing. We just saw.
You should buy Christian Dunn in just .com, and we'll turn that into a fake life coach URL, like drop page. That'd be so awesome.
That would be good. I could be like the guy, a little bit like the guy who does the parenting consulting,
or the guy on LinkedIn that tries to get you to like raise your low T.
Yeah.
Right. That's a story for another time. But by the way, we value all these things, but the people we work for, we want all these things, but GSD. That's really what it's like all about. That and domain like experience and the ability to kick a little ass. Tough.
All right. So we're gonna get into our next topic. So you guys, I am interested to hear like what you saw, and I'll let you know what I saw in my own company. But I was on a Workday CHRO forum this last week and got to hear from some really great kind of CHROs about 2020, 2021, some of the kind of trends, things they're seeing, whatever that might be. And again, just talking shop basically, which is, I'd love to be a part of those conversations. And one of the things that came up from one of the companies, and this is a large enterprise company, over 20,000 employees. I want actually like 80,000 employees. And the CHRO said like, hey, we were running data streams throughout the year. And all of a sudden we realized our PTO banks were like literally going through the roof. Like nobody was taking PTO. And at first there's an employee factor to this, right? Because you're like, oh gosh, if our employees aren't taking time off, then they're going to get burned out and they're going to turn over, and all of the HR stuff in our minds start going crazy. And then like the realization of the CFO bottom line impact was, holy crap, we're carrying millions of dollars on our balance sheet of banked PTO that this is going to become like a financial issue and problem. And so they started, the reality was they still kept on this tact of like, oh yeah, this is a real employee experience and a real employee engagement issue. And we have to figure out ways to address this. And they started talking about the different things that they were doing. And I'm listening to this going, this is a bunch of bullshit. These people are not taking time off because they're busy or they're overwhelmed or they're trying to help the company. They're working remotely and they're doing anything they want. They have increased flexibility and they don't have to take time off to go to the dentist or get their hair done or go grocery shopping or take the kid to some, activity or whatever. They're just doing it and you don't know the difference, and they're not using their PTO time. And this is an integrity issue. Number 2 on the quality of candidates. God damn it. Like they don't have high integrity. That's my take on this. Now I could be wrong. Except in my own company, we saw our PTO banks go through the roof as well. And, part of this, what we found as we dug into it, because I have high integrity employees, let's just put that out there, was they were like, Tim, we don't have anywhere to go. we're like locked into a house. We're just like stuck. Like we can't go to dinner. We can't go to a movie. We can't do anything. So why? Like we're working at home, or if I go to the cottage, I'm working at the cottage. Like I'm just stuck. Bullshit, fake news or real news. The rise of the PTO banks across America. What's going on here?
You're so insincere, I think is where we are at the moment. Look, I tried to take some time off during the holidays and I was like, this is not time off when I am at home with children. Like, this is not time off. And so I think I've decided, like, I'm just not taking the time off. Like, when time comes that I can go somewhere wonderful, like I can't go to my, other house in Utah because I don't have another house because, as we've talked about in another podcast, my credit score was crap, but we've come beyond that. But no, I'm waiting. I'm saving my PTO for when I can go on a real vacation. It doesn't feel.
Well, you did go. You went to the beach. You went to the beach with the kids and every family and friends.
But that's not vacation. It's not vacation. I want to go in a lovely hotel somewhere where I can be like fed grapes on a platter and people will fan me with palm leaves. I want it to be like they bring my sunscreen out to me on the beach, and I've got a sunscreen butler who's applying the tanning lotion and then the SPF when I need it. It's like, this is not vacation. That's not vacation. So my time is being banked.
All right, KD.
Obviously, this is bullshit, right? But I like, you caught me. I was all ready to come in. I was so like flabbergasted. I couldn't even unmute my mic because you go hard in the paint. And then you came back and said, but I did talk to my own folks. And they said, well, it's kind of like this and that.
Wait,
and stuff like that.
I'm going to throw my own team under the bus.
I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Like, if you took the fact that PTO banks, I'm just making this up, right? Let's say PTO banks are at the end of 2020 were 35% higher than they were at the end of 2019. I'm just going to split the difference. And I'm going to say half of that is because, as your employee said, Tim, we had nowhere to go. As JLee said, I'm not taking a vacation because this is not vacation. And then half of it is a lot, for a lot of people, even gainfully employed, 2020 had a lot of downtime.
Hello, this is Michael Vandervoort from the Drive-Thru HR podcast, where we discuss ideas, trends, and activities that impact HR, talent, HR technology, and the workplace. Our focus is on expanding knowledge and igniting curiosity as we hear directly from people who are shaping the future of the HR industry. Join us.
A lot of downtime.
Well, no, we've talked about this. Like, I think we thought, like, hey, in a remote job, you can probably do in 30 hours what it took you 40 hours in the office. And so if you're remote now every single week, you have this extra time, and it really increased in flexibility, which I think is the bigger kind of takeaway from 2020 was people love flexibility. They don't necessarily love remote work. They want the increased flexibility because we see this in these hybrid models, that we're coming back to potentially sometime in 2021 after I get both the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine in each arm. I still haven't found anybody to give me those, by the way, but eventually I will. Jessica, like, is this a real issue though? I think for organizations, when all of a sudden, if you have like carryover of PTO from year to year, and you keep increasing, we're gonna get sometime in 2021 where people can go out in the wild again, and we're gonna have nobody working because everybody has PTO to use.
Well, so, it makes me wonder, like, what are you supposed to do about this, right? Like, so I'm curious, like, if on the call people were like talking about like how they're combating. Is it that you let them continue to roll over, you increase the, rollover amount because they're banking it and it's not their fault that they can't go on vacation or take the PTO? Like, can you donate it? Do you come up with schemes? Like, I think you've talked about this before, like option to be able to cash out some of your PTO. I actually probably would say, like, yeah, give me 5 days. I'm not going to take it, but give me the cash. So I do wonder what people will do. And like, we just all have to hope that we're going to get out of this at a certain point and we're going to be able to all go on vacation, but we will stagger it because the good, sincere employees we will talk to our leaders about is it okay if I go? Can we plan it out? We want to make sure there's coverage within the team. So I have faith that the people will do that and we won't all be left hanging while everyone's on vacation at the same time.
I want to be like, JLee, give me the name of like an outdoorsy type person that like is responsible for bringing you great programming about nature. Do you have one of those? Do you watch with the kids?
Like a show, like a TV show?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm embarrassed.
Bear Wilds.
Bear Wilds?
Wild Kratts on PBS.
Wild Kratts.
Is it Bear Riles, Tim?
Is that what you
Something
came
like
up?
that. We'll
Okay,
start
I'm
that-
going to be like Bear
Bear
Lyles.
Grylls.
I'm going to be
Oh,
like Bear
Grylls.
Lyles, and I'm going to bring you
No,
to
Bear Grylls.
programming. This is not necessarily going to happen on a workday call, but I want to be like the guy out in the savannah bringing you clips of what actually happens in the wild, also known as the SMB space. Okay. And for SMB people, here's how it's always worked. It is called use it or lose it. There aren't any SMBs that bank PTO year to year. They just don't because they can't afford it. They're scared to death of it. And, there's enough chaos. They're not organized enough in terms of accounting for it. They know they can't possibly like factor it and challenge anything. So in the wild, like there's the equivalent of a lion eating your leg, and it's called use it or lose it. And it automatically resets in December. The other thing I would tell you, Tim and JLee, while I'm on a rant here and I'm bringing you pictures from the African savannah on safari, the other thing I would tell you is this is a call like people should have been running. They could still run. They could still jog, by the way. They should be running to the exits to say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. HR leader, didn't you have a great idea for unlimited vacation? Because what happens with that is you're doing some type of settlement that is not dollar for dollar, but you're doing some type of settlement that's like 30 cents on the dollar to try and cash people out and get to the place where it sounds like they already are, which nobody ever puts any vacation in anyway. Tim.
Well, we did go unlimited PTO with HRU in 2020, and it's been a great change so far, but we'll see. So back to my CHRO call and some of the things they did, because I think there were some really good takeaways of things that people decided like, hey, we need to do stuff. One was, hey, we figured out on a monthly basis, we need to pull data and actually send it to hiring managers directly and let them know, hey, you're 3 months into the year and you have 4 employees who have not taken 1 hour of PTO. This is a good one-on-one coaching conversation to figure out what's going on, right? So it's really holding those managers accountable, and they did it at every level. So those managers that are VPs or directors or whatever got the same kind of stuff.
Tim,
so
I want to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Third time 90% of your target audience gets that email, you know what's happening, right? Delete. Go ahead. Please continue.
You know what, though? What an amazing message. I'm going to be the sincere, optimistic one about this. Like, what an associate, an employee doesn't need to know the reason why you're talking to them about not taking time off. Like, think about how feel good that conversation is going to be for that manager with their employee around. Like, what's going on? I noticed you haven't taken any time off. Like,
yeah, it's March. It's March and you haven't taken a day. What's wrong?
Or whatever. But you do have the conversation with the person who'll go like, hey, I know Timmy's not taking any PTO because he's getting married in August or whatever, right? Or he's got a baby coming or what. Like there's all kinds of reasons, but at least have that conversation and be able to be accountable to it versus going at the end of the year, it's December, you get that spreadsheet and you have 12 employees who have not taken 1 hour of PTO. And you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then you think in your mind, you're like, wait a minute, I know at 4th of July that week you were off the entire week. Why, what's going on? So here's another thing that an organization did that I thought was really brilliant and very positive, which was they allowed people to send PTO to a quote unquote bank to be used for charitable purposes for other employees in the organization. So this was an organization that had a high number of hourly employees who, if they don't work, even if, they get very little PTO, if they don't work, they don't get paid, but they have they have catastrophic things happen in their life. They have a sick child or a sick spouse or whatever. And FMLA will protect their job, but it won't protect their money. And so this was a way that these people could actually apply for these banked hours, and all the associates, if they decided to, they could actually donate some of their banked time into this bank and create this kind of fund, they called it, for other employees to use. And then they actually had a council of employees, including hourly employees, that would go through and actually administer the applications that came in. So I thought it was a pretty cool one.
I love it. Christian Dunn is over there shaking his head full of cynicism, but that makes me feel good. It makes me want to hug someone.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, can Chris Dunn possibly be a negative bastard about what Tim just said? And the answer is really no. I was just like mucking it up for purposes of mucking it up. I just like, this is an enterprise company problem. I want to remind everybody of that, because most companies that are still anywhere close to the bootstrap stage, it's use it or lose it. And it doesn't make the problem go away, or it's not bad, but I would say I like the bank for catastrophic things that fellow employees have been there. I think that's a really good thing, but they still got to deal with it because it's not going away, right? If anything, Tim, the percentage of total time remote work versus in office is not going back to where it was. We know that people won't stay 100% remote, but it's not going back to where it was. So you still got to figure this thing out long term. And you probably can't go use it or lose it, but you probably can go unlimited vacation, settle this thing up, 30 cents on the dollar. Who's with me? Let's make a deal.
30 cents on the dollar.
Well, let's talk about that. What do you think's reasonable for big banks that are out there that you're trying to negotiate a middle ground? Because I'm telling you, for the rest of time, you can use as much vacation as you want.
Yeah. Well,
I want a fair payout for exactly the number of hours and days that I'm cashing out.
Let's negotiate, JLee, because let's do this right here. Let's do this live.
By the way, that was one of the issues that came into play with this with the CHRO example. Was they were talking about millions of dollars in banked PTO that they couldn't just all of a sudden cut checks on December 31st to everybody, because that was going to have a huge financial impact to the bottom line as a publicly traded company. But so they're trying to figure out, how do we actually deal with this? And their thing was, we have to get this off the books. Thus, we have to push people to use it. So, that was the problem, right?
JLee, do you want to do the negotiation right now?
I'm not negotiating. I would not negotiate. Instead, I would opt to take every Friday off instead. But no, I'm not. I wouldn't negotiate.
Hey, tell me how that works out for your career. That sounds like an amazing strategy. But the negotiation goes like this. I just want to point this out. The negotiation goes like, well, certainly we want to compensate you for this change. However, I would be remiss, Mrs. Lee, if I didn't tell you, you have the ability to take more vacation in the future, so it can't be dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
And if your answer,
even though you have 50 banked hours, you could take 100 hours tomorrow, or next week or whatever, like it's unlimited.
And if your answer is taking every Friday off, so noted in the notes section of my HRMS.
I mean, my next question would be, is the policy still to pay out your PTO balance upon leaving the company? And is that dollar for dollar? By
the way, depending on the state, that is a case where that has to happen, right? So there are state laws around that that you would have to do. The question is, are you going to throw your career away, for an extra 25 hours of PTO, that you're not going to get? I doubt
it. To your point, Tim, I'm already messing around at home and not reporting my PTO as I'm supposed to. So,
well, and I think there's like KD said, it's 50-50. There's definitely this aspect of, hey, there's nowhere for us to go or do stuff. Again, depending on which state you're in. In Florida, I would really question if I had PTO banks there, because I just came back from there in the holidays and it's a complete shit show of down there of everybody doing whatever they want. So, but depending on what state you're in and the level of lockdown, that's definitely an issue. And then also, just obviously level of some organizations truly had this incredible, busy, crazy year, and maybe you just couldn't take time away. All right. I'm going to get us out on something a little more positive, even though I made that PTO thing super positive.
I feel like I was super positive too, Timmy.
Oh my God. People right now are creating funds for their, sick kids and all this stuff. All right. So holiday, we just came off holidays a while back, but we had a bunch of it's winter. Let's just face it. We don't have great weather to be out there unless you're, Christian Dunn, life coach in Alabama. What TV stuff are you guys watching? Give me favorite TV, like movie show, something you've been watching that you're just like, hey, you guys have to watch this.
Oh, we'll talk about, I just finished Bridgerton and I love it. And it's so good. When you get to episode 5, you will start blushing, but I'm
3 episodes in. And I do like it. In fact, Miss Kim was laughing at me last night because I had this smirk on my face while watching, and all of her like Instagram, like mom followers, blog stuff that she does. She's like, all these women I follow said their husbands hate Bridgerton. And I'm like, I think it's pretty well done. I like it. I was told that it was like a sexcapade, like nonstop sex show. And I'm 3 episodes in and I've seen 5 seconds of sex. So I'm like, well, this isn't for real. And then obviously a lot of my friends like JLee said, oh, just wait, it's coming.
Episode 5, mind blown. So good. 8 more seasons to go. 7 more seasons to go, I think.
For real?
Yeah. It's gonna be a long-term thing.
Dang. Okay. Now I'm in. KD.
I don't think I really have anything that I'm binge watching now. I forgot to tell you this, Tim. I got to tell you this story. You talked about the holidays.
Yeah.
And we did a socially distanced Christmas, and we ended up in the back bedroom of a house, and it was a family closet, and it was a mess. Okay, I'll just say that. Guess what I found? This is better than a TV show. I found a series of books that I'm going to send to you. There were only 2 of them. The Sacketts. Are you familiar with these books?
Louis L'Amour, my whole life. If I run into an old person and they find out my name is Sackett, they'll say, are you one of the Sacketts from Louis L'Amour? And at this point now, I just go, yes, I am. And they're like, oh my God, I love those books. Because you're going to go, like, look, it's a fictional story.
Have you read the books, Tim?
I haven't read all of them because there's a lot. I've read many of them.
Do you have them?
No.
Would you like one for the shelf?
I would. That'd be awesome. Would love that.
Sending it your way. Highlight of my Christmas.
Did you read it? It's all like.
Oh no! I looked at like one page. And I'm like, no, I'm out.
Yeah. They're not. They're not the best stories. So I will give you one TV show and get us out of here. Ted Lasso, Apple Plus.
I want to watch that.
And by the way, I had a little heartburn of adding one more streaming service to the right of that. But Ted Lasso was really good. Like, it was charming, it was funny, and it's the concept is an American football coach, like at a D2 school that's very successful, decides to take a Premier League soccer job, which is like the highest level of soccer in the world in England. And there's some other background. I won't give that away, but it's really good. I think it's Jason Sudeikis is the head guy. Right. It's funny. It's charming. There's like romance, the whole thing in there. It's good. It's really good. So go watch that.
Cool.
All right. I will get us out of here, everybody. For Jessica Lee, for Chris Dunn, I'm Tim Sackett. That's what we had for you this week. HR Famous. We are out.